Philippine government has signed a peace deal with the biggest Muslim rebel group in Southeast Asia. The agreement aims to end a decades-old conflict against the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. More than 150,000 people have been killed and 1 million more have been displaced since that conflict began in the late 1960s. Members of the MILF have been fighting for autonomy in the southern region of Mindanao, which they regard as their ancestral homeland. They've now been granted autonomy through a new political entity called the Bangsamoro, which will share power with the national government.
Our goal to have the Bangsamoro Transition Authority in place by 2015, when it will serve as the interim Bangsamoro government until the elections in 2016. In this manner, the people themselves will turn the tide of strife into an era of peace and equitable progress. They themselves will prove that the democratic space is vast enough to address every Filipino's grievances and concerns.
Live now to Mindanao, Al Jazeera's Jamela Alindogan is with us. Jamela, after years of conflict, 17 years of negotiations, why now? What's happened to bring about this peace agreement?
Well, a lot of that is being a confluence of events. In fact, in particular, really, the political will of the president, of the administration of President Benigno Aquino, really the desire from both sides, really, to find a solution. It means a lot for millions of Filipinos here in southern Mindanao, in particular Muslim Filipinos, who have long felt that they have long been misunderstood by the rest of the country. I am here at the MILF stronghold in the rebel camp here of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, Camp Darapanan, and I've witnessed the reactions of soldiers. There are those who are already in their 70s. They have fought against the government for decades, and now they said they finally will be able to live a life in peace. Their grandchildren will now have the opportunities that have also opportunities that were not given to them. I mean, behind me, these are young fighters, some as young as 14, experienced snipers. They have been trained in combat since they were 11. And now they are saying they're now going to have a chance to really go back to school now and to live a normal life. However, when I've managed to speak to the chief negotiator, Moha Kerepal, he told us that really the challenge now is to temper the expectations of his people. It's not a perfect agreement. There is no such thing as a perfect agreement, but this is what they need now. For the next generation of fighters are going to be far more militant and far more dangerous.
As you say, it's not a perfect agreement. What are the chances then of a lasting peace, Jamela?
Well, the chances are very high, but the bigger challenge really ahead right now is the implementation. It's going to be very difficult. In particular, the decommissioning, the laying down of weapons of thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of fighters who have long been used to this culture of insurgency, this culture of rebellion. Now they are forced and they have to go back to civilian life. Another important factor to look at is what the Philippine government calls the spoilers of the peace process. These are local officials, these are tribal groups who have long profited from war. But with under this new entity, these political groups, these groups on the side are now going to be dismantled, forcefully dismantled, and this is what they need to look after now. For now, though, really, all these expectations are really high, and what they want really at this point, they say, is that it's a process that will be expedited. Really, they want this to happen as soon as possible, before the term of President Benigno Aquino ends in 2016, they said, because they're not sure exactly what the next administration will be like and how the treatment really of the grievances of the Moro people in the southern Philippines will be approached.
Jamela, many thanks. Al Jazeera's Jamela Alindogan there, live in Mindanao in the southern Philippines.